For the first time in recorded history, radar confirmed 3 tornadoes across the Deep South today. An unwarned tornado touched down near Abernant, Alabama. Debris confirmed on radar at 12:27 p.m. 8 to 12 inches of rainfall is locked in for the Gulf Coast through June 1st. Stay with me at the 4-minute mark. I show you the city that is ground zero tonight. Make it to the end. I have one piece of news that will genuinely surprise you. I personally think what we are seeing today is the most active late May setup in 5 years. When I first pulled up this morning's data, I thought the models were overcooking it. An El Nino-fueled subtropical jet stream is acting like a fire hose aimed at the southern United States. Burn this into your memory. The window to prepare for tonight and tomorrow is closing fast. Let's go straight to what is happening on the ground, because tornadoes are confirmed active right now. At 4:24 p.m. Central Daylight Time, a tornado warning was issued for Cumberland, White, and Putnam Counties in Tennessee. That storm was near Sparta, moving northeast at 35 miles per hour, valid until 5:15 p.m. Central Daylight Time. That one warning covers 32,057 people, 11 schools, and 1 hospital inside the tornado track path. To put it in perspective, that is an entire county population under a confirmed tornado track. Sparta, Doyle, Bon Air, Pleasant Hill, if you are there, take cover right now. Interstate 40 between mile markers 300 and 317 is inside that warning zone right now. Think about Dorothy, a retired school teacher outside Sparta. This is her most dangerous hour today. Dorothy's shelter plan needed to be confirmed before 2 p.m. today, not when the warning sirens go off. Here is the part that genuinely stopped me cold when I first saw it on radar today. An unwarned tornado touched down north of Abernant, Alabama, 0 seconds of warning before it hit. Birmingham radar showed a debris signature. Mixed colors in the low levels mean real debris is airborne. In plain terms, something real hit the ground near Abernant and lofted debris before any warning issued. That is the sneaky setup. Tornadoes touch down in areas rated only marginal risk. Earlier today at 9:30 a.m., a tornado warning was issued near Waynesboro, Mississippi, radar indicated. And overnight at 12:37 a.m., Mobile, Alabama, radar confirmed a tornado near Gilbertown and Silas. 3 confirmed tornado events across the Deep South in one 24-hour window today. 3 events, 3 counties, 0 people who expected a tornado on what looked like a routine Friday. The closest comparison is the outbreak of May 18th through 21st, 2025. 133 tornadoes total. That 2025 outbreak covered over 400,000 square miles and put $2.6 billion of damage on the ground. Go back to May 6th through 10th, 2024, 180 tornadoes. An EF4 $6.1 billion in damage. Today's pattern shares the same DNA as both those outbreaks. Same jet, same Gulf fuel. The key difference today is El Nino has officially kicked in, amplifying the subtropical jet further. Drop your city and state in the comments. I come back tonight with your specific breakdown. Tennessee Valley, Gulf Coast, Nebraska, Carolinas, wherever you are. I want your location below. Now let's move to the Texas Panhandle, because that afternoon threat window is still very much open. A slight risk covers 1.38 million people across Amarillo, Lubbock, Childress, and Wichita Falls today. By 5 to 6 p.m. this evening, the dryline fires and storms erupt across the Texas Panhandle. By 7 to 8 p.m., those storms push east and 80 miles per hour gusts become the primary hazard. By 10 p.m. to midnight, Fort Sill and Lawton, that is your bullseye tonight for damaging wind. By 2 to 3 a.m. Saturday, the complex reaches Dallas-Fort Worth on a weakening trend. Think about Earl, a retired driver near Amarillo. Vehicle needs cover before 4 p.m. today. Earl knows that 4-inch hail will destroy a vehicle sitting in a driveway in under 60 seconds. Baseball hail hits at terminal velocity like a 90 miles per hour fastball on every surface of your car. Here is the bigger picture. This is not one storm. It is weeks of relentless back-to-back reloads. El Nino has turned on the subtropical jet like a faucet that nobody can reach to turn off. That jet acts as a moisture conveyor, pulling Gulf and East Pacific fuel into the country non-stop. A ridge locked over the Pacific Northwest is holding this entire storm engine in place. I personally think this pattern is more dangerous than the official SPC outlook is showing today. When I look at where moisture values sit today, the instability is running unusually high for May. Here's the number that stopped me cold, the one I keep coming back to every time. 8 to 12 inches of rainfall for 32 million people along the Gulf Coast through June 1st. That covers 189,000 square miles from Corpus Christi to Gulfport. Both models locked on the same number. 12 inches is more rain than most Gulf Coast cities normally see in 3 full months. 12 inches of rain on already saturated ground does not drain. It becomes a flash flooding catastrophe. Houston, Beaumont, Lake Charles, Baton Rouge, New Orleans, ground zero for the rainfall total this week. Now let's talk Saturday, because this weekend reloads the severe weather engine across a massive footprint. 4 separate marginal risk zones cover 21.9 million people from Texas to Georgia on Saturday. By 10 a.m. to noon Saturday. Quiet mornings, but storm energy is building across the Gulf states. By 2 to 3 p.m. Saturday, storms fire from Houston through New Orleans toward Gulfport. By 4 to 6 p.m. Saturday. Georgia sees a separate cluster, Macon, Columbus, Savannah in the zone. By 7 to 9 p.m. Saturday. South Texas fires with an isolated wind and hail threat. Saturday night, from midnight to 2 a.m., storms push into the mid-Atlantic from Columbus to Pittsburgh. Tell me your city below, and I will personally post your local radar timeline tonight. Nashville, Houston, Macon, Charlotte, Omaha. I want to hear from every city in today's impact zone. Washington, D.C., New Jersey, Long Island. Connecticut wet Saturday morning with embedded lightning risk. These storms will not be severe up there, but flash flooding is real across saturated soil. Central North Carolina and Virginia are in extreme drought. Some areas a full 12 inches behind normal. I personally think this weekend's rainfall will be the most significant drought relief those areas have seen. Now let's move to Sunday, May 24th, because the pattern escalates into the plains that day. A marginal risk of severe weather covers 1.9 million people in eastern Nebraska and eastern Iowa Sunday. That marginal risk covers roughly 35,000 square miles, from Council Bluffs to Sioux City to Lincoln. By 3 to 4 p.m. Sunday, a weather disturbance crosses the Central Plains and triggers afternoon storms. By 5 to 6 p.m. Sunday, any organized storm near Omaha carries an isolated tornado threat. By 7 to 8 p.m. Sunday, the severe window maximizes across eastern Nebraska and western Iowa. By 9 to 10 p.m. Sunday, storms weaken, pushing into Wisconsin, but gusty winds continue through midnight. Think about Margaret, a retired nurse outside Omaha. Sunday afternoon is her most dangerous window. Margaret's shelter plan needed to be confirmed before Sunday noon, not when warnings are already going off. Margaret has her neighbor's number, her shelter confirmed, and her alerts set to full volume already. That is the only smart play when storms capable of all hazards are inbound. Prepare first. Meanwhile, Sunday is also a washout across the deep south from Texas all the way through Alabama. Jackson and Baton Rouge ground zero for 2 to 3 more inches on what is already there. Turn around, don't drown. That rule applies from Houston to Gulfport to Mobile through Sunday evening. Here is what blew me away in the extended models this morning. This goes on for weeks. Both the European and American models show active severe weather somewhere in the U.S. every single day. Day 5, day 6, day 7. Not one quiet day in the central or eastern United States. I personally think the signal off the southeast coast around May 29th deserves a very close watch. A low pressure off the Carolinas, if it hugs the coast, could finally deliver real drought relief for Memorial Day itself on Monday, May 25th. The Storm Prediction Center says predictability is too low, but I personally think a marginal risk shows up on Monday's map this pattern keeps delivering. The good news for Memorial Day is warmth finally arrives up north, 90s in the Dakotas. Rapid City and Pierre, South Dakota ground zero for Memorial Day heat at 91 to 92 degrees. Pool opening weather for the Dakotas, while the Gulf Coast deals with its second week of flooding rain. Now here is the forecast detail nobody is talking about, the one I keep coming back to. Around Thursday, May 28th, 6 days out, a colder blast tries to push in from Canada. Temperatures could run 10 to 20 degrees below normal, dragging the southeast back to the upper 60s. Upper 60s and lower 70s at end of May would be unusual. Models have flip-flopped on this. But cold air colliding with Gulf moisture is exactly what could fire off severe weather again. That collision pattern is the same setup that produced the major outbreak of April 28th, 2026. Let's put the full rainfall picture together because these numbers are the ones that stopped me. The European model shows 5 to 10 inches across 189,000 square miles of the Deep South. The American model extends that zone further north, covering 14 million additional people. Houston, Beaumont, Lake Charles, Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Gulfport, Jackson, all in the heaviest zone. That is a 10-day flooding disaster. Not a single event, both models agree on that number. Turn around, don't drown. 6 inches of moving water knocks a full-grown adult off their feet. 12 inches carries a vehicle downstream. No road is worth crossing when water is moving. Let's head west because the Pacific Northwest has its own important weather story this weekend. By Saturday noon, Seattle and Portland stay dry, but clouds thicken and temperatures cool slightly. By Sunday evening, moisture arrives, lowland rain starts, and mountain snow returns above the passes. By Monday into Tuesday, breezy conditions and 5 to 10 degrees below normal dominate the Northwest. Denver, Albuquerque, and the Colorado Rockies, a cutoff low arrives Wednesday and brings daily storms. And now the genuine good news I promised, and I mean genuine, not softening any blow. The Climate Prediction Center is going all in on the most active monsoon start in several years. Arizona, New Mexico, Utah, Colorado, and the Four Corners all forecast above normal rainfall this summer. Phoenix, Las Vegas, Flagstaff, Tucson, and Albuquerque. Drought-busting monsoon rain is finally coming. For Denver, this monsoon could partially make up for one of its most lackluster snow seasons. That is the trend being your friend, and for the Southwest, this is the best news lately. Think about Frank, a retired farmer near Nashville. Today's tornado risk puts him in the 2% zone. Frank's shelter is his basement, confirmed before noon today. Not when sirens are going off overhead. Frank knocked on his neighbor's door this morning to confirm she had a plan that is it. That neighbor-to-neighbor heads up is worth more than 10 push notifications they will swipe right past. With confirmed tornadoes on the ground today, tonight's nocturnal threat is very real and serious. Phone alerts must be at full volume before sleep tonight. Nighttime tornadoes are more deadly. Know your shelter before 9 p.m. tonight. Not during the warning, not when the sirens go off. Shelter means the lowest interior room, away from all windows, with no exterior walls on any side. Vehicles under cover before 6 p.m. in the Texas Panhandle. 4-inch hail destroys a car. Fast. Mobile home residents in the Tennessee Valley off-site shelter confirmed before tonight, not at warning time. Before we close, share this with someone in Memphis, Nashville, or anywhere in today's impact zone. A heads up from a trusted face beats 10 push notifications they will swipe right past. Let me give you the full city breakdown so you know exactly where you stand in this pattern. Nashville today's 2% tornado risk. Then active again through Tuesday as the pattern reloads. Birmingham unwarned tornado event today. Stormy weekend ahead. Ground zero for 2 separate storm rounds. Memphis today's overnight threat, then back-to-back storm chances all the way through Memorial Day Tuesday. Knoxville, eastern edge of today's tornado warning. Evening storm risk, then active through the weekend. Atlanta, Macon, Columbus, Savannah, Saturday afternoon storm cluster. Bullseye window is 4 to 6 p.m. Mobile and Pensacola ground zero for the overnight Gulf moisture push. Stormy tonight into Saturday. Houston and Beaumont, 8 to 12-inch rainfall total through June 1st. Flash flooding your primary concern. New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Lake Charles, ground zero for the heaviest rainfall in this 10-day pattern. Jackson, Mississippi, persistent heavy rain Saturday through Monday. Flash flooding threat is growing. Dallas-Fort Worth, overnight storms arrive, weakening by 2 a.m., but isolated wind threat through midnight. Oklahoma City and Tulsa today's dry line threat. Then active again by Tuesday as the pattern shifts. Kansas City and St. Louis Saturday evening, isolated severe threat. Then active again Monday into Tuesday. Omaha and Lincoln Sunday afternoon is your bullseye. Tornado threat peaks from 5 to 8 p.m. Council Bluffs and Sioux City Sunday marginal risk covers your 35,000 square miles all afternoon. Indianapolis and Louisville Sunday line of storms dampens Memorial Day plans. Gusty wind threat by 7 p.m. Charlotte, Greenville, Spartanburg, wet weekend ahead. Extreme drought finally starts to ease this weekend. Cincinnati and Columbus, wet Saturday morning. Not severe, but flash flood risk is real through Sunday. Pittsburgh and Cleveland, active Saturday morning rain. Then Tuesday, cold front brings isolated severe risk. Let me take you back to where we started. 3 tornadoes. 0 warnings for one of them. 32,057 people inside Tennessee's tornado warning. 12 inches of rain locked in for the Gulf Coast. Those numbers are not going down. Every new model run adds more moisture and more instability. Dorothy outside Sparta confirming her shelter before 2 p.m. today. That is the right call. Earl in Amarillo getting his vehicle covered before 4 p.m. this evening. That is the smart play. Margaret outside Omaha with her Sunday shelter confirmed before noon. That window cannot be missed. Frank in Nashville knocking on his neighbor's door this morning. That is how communities survive. 4 people, 4 dangers, 1 relentless 10-day pattern, and not one of them waited for a siren. Drop your city and state one last time. I come back tonight with your specific local breakdown. Tomorrow brings fresh model data on that May 28th cold blast and whether it fires again. Mark my words, if May 28th lines up as models hint, we will be talking long. This pattern is just getting started, and the next surprise is already loading up right now.